Hi, my name is Andrew Thorp. I'm a speaker and leadership coach, and my particular interest is helping people to sell their ideas and inspire others through the medium of storytelling. I didn't always do this. I come from a sporting background, but a midlife crisis put me on a new path, and I want to tell you about some of the people who've shaped my thinking during that journey. I spent 22 years in the golf and leisure industry, but about 8 years ago decided to switch career. I was coaching golf during this period, and a mentor of mine sat me down one day and said, "Andrew, you're like a champion jockey on a donkey. Find yourself a thoroughbred." He encouraged me to change direction and move into the field I'm in now. Around the same time, I was looking for somewhere to live, and a casual acquaintance of mine agreed to put me up for a while in his house. I had no idea how significant this would be, because unbeknown to me, he had the equivalent of Waterstone's personal development and business section in his lounge, and that's how I got introduced to some of the greatest thinkers in leadership and communication, and the wonderful concept of TED Talks. Let's start with TED. It stands for Technology, Entertainment and Design, and for most of us it's an online library of extraordinary talks where people present an idea worth spreading. TED inspired me because of my ambition for a speaking career, but also because it reminds us how ideas can spread so easily in the internet age. That idea might be a new product, a service, or a new way of doing something. So if you have a clear idea and you're good at explaining it, you can move mountains. Seth Godin is a marketing genius from New York and the most brilliant person I've ever come across. He's written oodles of best-selling books and writes one of the most read blogs in the world. I love his idea that we should make our product or service more remarkable, that is, worth talking about, instead of pushing something that's average under people's noses and expecting them to pay attention and to buy. He's also a great advocate of people driving change, not just people in authority, but anyone within an organisation. He calls this their art, and I think it's a really inspiring message. Sir Ken Robinson gave the most viewed TED Talk of all time with his 2006 presentation on why schools kill creativity. He's a professor and a champion for a more individualised form of education, something which nurtures the natural creative capacities of children. And this, of course, is in sharp contrast to the industrialised model which has held sway for so many years in the so-called developed world. But his talk is also a masterclass in communication. It's a lovely balance between humour and the very profound message which has touched millions of people around the world. Nancy Duarte is a communication consultant based in the US and very much in my field of presentation skills for influencers. We share a common view on the importance of storytelling as a way to connect with people, and she's a world leader when it comes to presentation design and packaging a brand message. I love her quote about strengthening your signal instead of adding to an already noisy world with something that's just unremarkable. It's what I call wavelength marketing, something which speaks to your target audience and allows them to tune into that very precise channel. Simon Sinek proved that you don't have to have fancy PowerPoint to get across a powerful message. Using only a flip chart and a few squiggles, his TEDx talk on the golden circle theory was on the right wavelength for millions of people. That you should start with why, instead of defaulting to a factual what or a how description of your organisation. He's a wonderful speaker and a champion of heart-based leadership. Dan Pink is an ex-lawyer and formerly speechwriter for Al Gore. He's a brilliant man and a very analytical thinker, and it's kind of odd in a way that he's promoting the importance of very human right-brain skills like empathy and storytelling and creativity. He claims this is the age of the non-sales salesperson, where selling is something we're all doing, but where it's more consultative. We're more like educators or soft persuaders. I like this because it's empowering and it places a premium on technical experts developing their so-called softer skills. Malcolm Gladwell is a staff writer for the New Yorker magazine and writes best-selling books like The Tipping Point and Blink and Outliers, despite not really being an expert at anything. But he's a great example of someone who takes a keen interest in things. He finds patterns, creates a theory and speaks and writes about it in a highly engaging way. He's a storyteller at heart, a world traveller and highly successful. So you can imagine my amazement when I was sat in Starbucks at Manchester's Piccadilly railway station a few years ago, talking to a friend about the list above, the people who've inspired us and shaped our thinking. Then who should walk in but Malcolm Gladwell himself? He walked right past me and ordered a coffee. So what are the odds? I took it as a sign that this new profession of mine was indeed my thoroughbred. And finally, I'll mention someone you probably have heard of. That's Malala Yousafzai, the young Pakistani girl shot by the Taliban for being a champion of educational rights for girls. She survived and went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and I admire her for so many reasons, but if anyone can inspire other people to lead change, it has to be her. So there it is, some of my key influences who may indeed become some of yours too. It's your turn now to lead change. It's within your grasp and people need you. So what are you waiting for? Put yourself out there and start building your tribe.